The message came while she was in the shower. Her phone buzzed once, lighting up the nightstand with a soft glow. Normally, I wouldn't have cared. Sarah was always getting notifications from her friends, her clients, her yoga group. But that night, something in my gut twisted. Maybe it was the way she had been distant all week. Maybe it was the way she smiled at her phone earlier that evening. Whatever it was, I reached for it. One glance and my heart stopped. The text was from someone saved as Evan Redhart. Evan. So, did he finally propose? Or should I start making Valentine's Day plans for two? I froze. My breath hitched in my chest as I reread it, again and again, hoping the words would somehow rearrange themselves into something innocent. They didn't. And then, as if to twist the knife, a second message popped up. Evan. You know I meant what I said. I never stopped loving you, Sarah. Don't make me wait forever. The bathroom door creaked open. Steam spilled out. Sarah stepped out wrapped in a towel, humming softly, unaware that the world I knew had just shattered. I set her phone down quietly and looked at her. Who's Evan? I asked. Her smile vanished like a candle in the wind. 2 weeks earlier, she had given me an ultimatum. It was a Sunday morning, the kind that smelled like coffee and pancakes, and she sat across from me in one of my old college hoodies, hers now because that's what love looked like to me then. I need to know where this is going, Mark, she said. Propose by Valentine's Day or what? I asked, half laughing, half fearing the answer. She met my eyes dead serious. Or I'm going back to my ex. She said it so calmly it took a full minute for the meaning to sink in. Her ex Evan. The guy who cheated on her 3 years ago. The guy she swore had destroyed her faith in love. You're joking, I said, trying to mask the crack in my voice. I'm not, she said simply. I love you, Mark, but I need commitment. I can't keep waiting while you decide if I'm the one. He's been reaching out, and he says he's changed. Her tone was soft, but her words landed like blows. I wanted to be angry, but mostly I was just scared. Scared to lose her. And that fear made me do something stupid. I told her I'd think about it. Back to the present. She stood there dripping water onto the floor, her towel clenched tightly in her hands. Why are you going through my phone? She asked, her voice trembling. I didn't answer. Mark, I asked you a question. I think the real question, I said, stepping closer, is why your ex is asking if you're spending Valentine's Day with him. Her lips parted, but no words came. Just guilt, raw and visible. Mark, it's not what it looks like. Oh, really? Because it looks like you've been talking to the guy you threatened to run back to if I didn't propose fast enough. She started, then stopped, biting her lip. I wanted closure. I wanted to make sure he really had changed. That I wasn't making a mistake with you. The words burned. So you're using me as some kind of emotional safety net? Her eyes filled with tears. No. God, no. I love you. I got scared. You've been distant, and I thought maybe you weren't sure about us. And instead of talking to me, you started texting him? She turned away, gripping the towel tighter. It wasn't supposed to go that far. How far did it go, Sarah? She hesitated, and that hesitation said everything. That night I didn't sleep. I sat in the dark living room, the phone still glowing faintly beside me. Message after message between her and Evan painted the story I never wanted to read. It started innocent. How have you been? I'm glad you're doing okay. Then it got flirtatious. I miss the way we used to laugh. You always looked good in blue. And finally emotional. I wish I'd never let you go. Sometimes I wonder what life would be like if we'd stayed together. The latest one was from 2 days ago. Sarah. If he doesn't propose by Valentine's Day, maybe it's a sign. Maybe you and I were meant to have another chance. I stared at that message until my eyes blurred. It was one thing to suspect betrayal, another to read it in her words. At dawn I went upstairs. She was asleep, her hand stretched across the empty side of the bed, like she could still reach for me in her dreams. I watched her for a long time, remembering the girl who once laughed at my stupid jokes, who kissed me in the rain and called me her forever. But forever, it turned out, had an expiration date. The next morning, she woke to the smell of coffee. I was at the kitchen counter, dressed for work, calm, too calm. Mark, she asked softly. About last night. I looked up, meeting her eyes. I thought about your ultimatum. She froze. And I set down the mug. You're right. You shouldn't have to wait forever. Her face lit up, hopeful. Mark, does that mean? It means, I said, sliding an envelope across the table, you don't have to wait at all. Inside was a printed screenshot of her conversation with Evan. Her hand shook as she opened it. Mark, I'm not proposing, I said evenly. I'm letting you go. Her voice broke. Please don't do this. It was a mistake. I was confused. I laughed bitterly. Confused? You planned your next relationship before ending this one. She reached for me, but I stepped back. You said propose by Valentine's Day or I'm going back to my ex, I said quietly. So I made your choice easy. Go back. Her eyes widened with panic. You don't mean that. You love me. I do, I admitted. But I love myself more than being someone's second option. For weeks after she left, the apartment felt hollow. Every sound echoed, the kettle's whistle, the creak of the floorboards, even my own breathing. I'd find her hair ties in drawers, her perfume still faint on the pillow. I'd wake up reaching for her, only to remember she wasn't there anymore. Sometimes I'd think about texting her just to ask if she was happy. But I didn't, because deep down I knew the answer didn't matter. Love built on fear and ultimatums doesn't survive. 2 months later I saw her again. I was out with friends when she walked into the same cafe, her eyes finding mine instantly. She looked smaller somehow, like the weight of her choices had finally settled on her shoulders. Mark, she said softly, approaching my table. Can we talk? I nodded, more out of curiosity than longing. We sat by the window. She fidgeted with her coffee cup before finally saying, I made a mistake. I thought I wanted security, but what I really wanted was to feel chosen. By threatening to leave? I asked. Tears welled up. I know. I was stupid. Evan wasn't who I thought he'd become. He's still the same liar he was before. I looked at her for a long time, feeling a strange mixture of pity and relief. I'm sorry, Sarah. I really am. But you didn't just hurt me. You broke the version of us that could have been. She nodded, wiping her eyes. I don't expect forgiveness. I just needed you to know I regret it. I believe you, I said quietly. But that doesn't change anything. She looked out the window, her reflection blurred by rain. I miss you. I smiled sadly. Then maybe next time don't make love a deadline. That night I went home and sat by the window, watching the city lights flicker below. I thought about how love can turn into negotiation when trust fades. How someone you die for can become someone you no longer recognize. But I also thought about how endings can be beginnings in disguise. For the first time in months I slept without dreaming of her. And when Valentine's Day finally came, the day she had chosen as the measure of my love, I didn't feel bitterness. I just made myself a cup of coffee, opened the curtains and watched the sunrise paint the world gold. Because sometimes the best proposal isn't a ring. It's walking away from the person who never truly saw your worth.